Okay, hello and welcome to Bytes and Strides with 𝗏𝗏. So today we are going to learn a completely new topic, and that is functions in Python. Yes. So we are going to take this functions topic in 2 sessions. So today is the basic section of functions. So first let us understand the need of functions. What is a function? What are the different types of functions? So consider I have written some lines of code. I have written these 3 lines of code. After this, I have written some more code. Okay? And now I want to repeat these 3 lines. So till now, whatever we have learned in Python, the only thing we can do is maybe rewrite these 3 lines of code. And then again, whenever I need it, I need to rewrite these 3 lines of code. What we notice is the code size goes up. The code size goes up. Your errors are going to repeat. Okay, so the errors are going to repeat. Say I have done some error over here in the second line, and I just copy paste the code, then my errors are going to repeat. What functions is going to do is, I will write these 3 lines of code in some block. Say I give this name as block 1. And this is my code. I write some code. I feel like, calling this block 1. So instead of writing the code, I just say, okay, please call all the code that is written in block 1. Now, these parentheses indicate, yes, it's a function. And then I can write some more code. Whenever I need block 1 again, I am going to call it block 1. Alright? So this is the idea of functions. So basically a function is going to be a block of code or a group of statements that have been bundled together in order to perform a specific task. What are we going to achieve using a function? A very unique aspect which is called as modularity, meaning breaking a problem statement into small parts becomes easy to manage, easy to code, easy to reuse. So this is what is modularity. You divide a large problem into smaller parts. And smaller parts are anyways going to be very, very manageable. It is going to reduce the repetition of code, which makes the code very easy to manage and very easy to reuse. So that's the need of functions, to improve the readability of the source code, to reuse the code, and then it's going to be very easy for us to debug, and your errors can be traced very fast. Reduces the size of code. Duplicate statements are replaced by function calls. Say I call it fun1.py. So functions are defined using the def keyword, def45, a function with some name. So suppose I want to say I want to greet the user. So def greet. You can see these parentheses indicate this is the syntax that it is a function. Don't forget to keep the colon. And then inside this indented block you write whatever your function is supposed to do. So my function is supposed to greet the user. Okay, hello dear. Welcome to the world of functions. That's it. So now I'm outside the function. This is my top level code, and here if I say hi, and if I execute this piece of code, we will realize the output is simply going to be hi. I have written the function, I have defined the function. What I did not do is I did not call the function. So how do you call the function? Just write the function name. So when you call this particular function, the control will leave the top level code. It will enter the function and execute all the code that you have written inside the function, you can write any valid Python code inside a function. It may be if, it may be the loop, it may be normal statements, it may be calculations. So let us execute this piece of code and you will notice that, okay, fine, and this all comes from the function. Now, if I want to write, say, one more line of code, okay, and then again I want to call greet, we will realize that instead of rewriting the code, I am simply just calling the function and these two lines have been repeated. So these are, this is an example of a very, very simple function. So like this, I can have a number of functions in my code. Okay, so now here this name greet, I have chosen the name that I like. So we have different types of functions which have been provided to us by Python. They are called as built-in functions, and we have already used quite a few built-in functions, like print is one of the built-in function, input is a built-in function. Today what we have written is a user-defined function. These functions are written by the developer. The developer is going to choose the name of the function, the code that he is going to write into the function. Alright? So this is user-defined function. We just wrote an example of user-defined functions, and we have also called a user-defined function. Let's go ahead with another thing in functions, function with arguments. So arguments are some values which we pass to a function, and these arguments can be one or many. So if you want to convey some information to the function, we can pass arguments. So let's take another example. So we have another file, fun2.py, and now I want to greet the person, in a personalized way. I want to say, hello dear, whatever is the name of the person. So now I intend to pass the first name of the person to the function. So this could be any variable name. And now what my function is doing, hello dear first name. This is what we have done. Now how am I going to call this function? If I simply say great and I try to execute this code, it's going to give me an error saying missing one required positional argument. Missing one required positional argument. So you are supposed to pass the first name. So here say I pass the name as Tiger. So this value of Tiger will get copied into fname, and you will see a very personalized greeting message has come. Hello dear, whatever name we have passed to the function. Okay, I can also pass the first name and the last. Here I can have, another name, suppose shop. What is going to happen? I have to also write the last name. Okay, can I pass only text? No, I can also pass numbers. Okay, so there could be another code wherein I actually pass some code, function 3. So let's name our function as add numbers. So add num. So I'm going to pass 3 numbers to it, and I'm going to declare another variable result which holds x plus y plus z. Print sum is result. So now when I want to call add num, I'm passing 1, 2, 3. 1 gets copied into x, 2 into y, and 3 into z, and that's how you are going to see this sum is things. Okay, let's make a little change in this code. What we are going to do is now say I plan to display result over here. What you will notice is that red wavy underline, which means this is an error. And what does the error say? The error says result is not defined. Now here we come to a very important concept, something called as a local variable in a function. See, result are declared inside addnum, right? So result is visible only inside addnum. Part of a program where variable is active is called scope of a variable, and scope of result is local to the function. How about, sending this result outside the function? So I could say return the value of result. So here we have function with arguments and it's also returning a value. Now I can hold this result into any other variable. It could be result, it could be anything. Suppose I say S for sum. Here I could print this down. What exactly happens is 1 gets copied into X, 2 gets copied into Y, 3 gets copied into Z. We are going to return the value of the result, and which will get copied into S. So here, when you execute this piece of code, you can see this result getting printed as 6. So this is function returning values. So function taking arguments or parameters, and then function returning a value which gets copied into a variable. Okay, let's move one more step ahead, and now what we are going to do is we are going to maybe save this program as function for. What I intend to do is find the sum. I also want to find the difference. So let's do it for 2 variables only. This finds the sum, this finds the difference, this finds the product. And now what we are going to do is we are going to return 3 values. So Python is a language which allows us to return more than 1 values. So I'm returning all the 3 values and I catch them in a single value. So here I'm passing maybe 10 and 2, only 2 parameters. I try to print result, and what we notice is, you can see 10 plus 2 is 12, 10 minus 2 is 8, 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. So look at this code one more time. I pass X, that is 10, Y, which is 2, then we find the sum, the difference, the product. We are returning all the 3 values, and it comes as a collection of values. Say if you want to display only the addition, then this is at position 0. Position starts with 0. This is at position 1. This is at position 2. So suppose I want to say, okay, what is the product? So I will say product is result. Look at the syntax in a square bracket. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. When you execute this piece of code, you can say product is 20. So what we have learned today is how to create a function, a simple one, how to write a function with arguments, how to write a function which returns a value, and also a function which returns more than 1 value. We continue with our discussion in the next part of functions, where we will move ahead and learn some more advanced features. Till then, keep practicing. See you very soon. Bye.